KYPr, spelled as KYPr, which stands for Keep Your Priorities, is an intelligent tool that integrates with other cloud tools like Google Classroom, emails, and calendars to automatically harvest upcoming deadlines and organize these into activities that you can manage. KYPr progressively learns unique patterns for every individual student using machine learning and uses this to improve the planning of the student's day accordingly. It provides a smart natural language processing and AI-enabled planning assistant which seamlessly organizes their activities. This promotes a healthy work-life balance that results in a happier and more engaged student.
Hi, I'm Desai, and you've just learned about KYPr. Now, KYPr uses a lot of components like scheduling, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, but right now I'm just going to demonstrate one part of the artificial intelligence that KYPr uses, which is natural language processing and how we integrated it with the Google Mini. Keep your eye on the 20th because something will show up and schedule there. Okay, Google, talk to Samurai KYPr.
Getting the test version of Samurai KYPr.
I'm your keeper. What can I do for you?
I have homework.
What subject gave you homework in Block 1?
It was English.
When is it due?
It's due tomorrow.
Is the homework a major project, worksheet, or a small project?
It's a major project.
Check your calendar.
Cancel. Now, as you can see, the English has shown up on the calendar, and if you look at it, it shows that this is the suggested time where you should work on the English homework. Now, it is chosen this time based on an algorithm. It divides the day into blocks, and based on the due date and the type of project it is, it assigns a block as to when I should work on it. And so it can learn. So if I say it took 2 hours for me to do this kind of homework, it can use machine learning and think, next time I am going to give him 2 hours to work on it. And so this means that the program will keep evolving and it'll be more in tune with my habits. But that's for later. Now let's talk about the natural language processing part in detail. Now I'll explain the entire architecture behind how what I say to Google Mini connects to the calendar. So the first thing that happens is the Google Mini connects to a Google Assistant app, and Google Assistant is an integral part of the Google Mini architecture, and so it's like a built-in function of Google Mini. And so when I talk to the Google Mini, it looks for a Google Assistant app called Samurai KYPr, which I have already created. And so you see here is basically the console where I can test and develop Samurai KYPr. Now, going to Dialogflow, you can see that this is a service called Dialogflow, which basically lets you create natural language processing systems and make an AI have a dialogue. And you can see that it is integrated with Google Assistant. So when I talk to the Samurai AI app, it calls Dialogflow and basically gets what to say from Dialogflow. And so how Dialogflow works is that there are different intents. So when I go to the homework intent, for example, clicking on the homework intent, I have already put in several training phrases for what I have to say to go into the homework intent. And when the homework intent starts, it creates a bunch of prompts to ask how to get different variables, for example, the subject or the date it's due. Now, once it has gotten all of these variables, it goes to fulfillment. And so I've already created a JavaScript. I've written a JavaScript app, and I'm hosting the app on Heroku. So when I want the Dialogflow to send its variables to JavaScript, I add the URL to connect it to the Heroku server where the JavaScript is hosted. So now going to the JavaScript, you can see that here's where it gets the homework values. So it gets all the variables and it returns the result, check your calendar. And I'm using the Dialogflow API to be able to do this and get the variables. Now, after it does this, it takes those variables, and I'm using the Google Calendar API to create different events using the variables, with the summary being subject 1 and talking about the subject, and I'm using the API to insert each event into the calendar from JavaScript. So, as you can see, I go to Google Calendar, and when it's inserted, this is what shows up. With KYPr, we aim to make a social impact by helping both students and professionals alike and giving them a virtual assistant which can not only schedule, but can also use machine learning and artificial intelligence to learn their habits and cater to their needs and make everybody's life easier. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Later, my friend Siddhant will explain the fundamentals and what we want to achieve with the KYPr app.
Hi everyone, my name is Siddhant Desai and I'm here from Team Arrow. And today I want to talk a little bit about the vision of KYPr, or Keep Your Priorities Right. So the problem or cause that we're trying to fix is that people like us all across the world struggle to manage and plan events, homework, work, extracurriculars. And this is where KYPr comes in. Imagine having your own personal assistant, one that can schedule events, tell you about conflicts, remind you about any homework or work that you have to finish. KYPr is your own personal assistant that can keep all your priorities in the right place. So KYPr follows a four-pronged approach to making our lives more organized. The first is planning. So at the start of every week, KYPr will relay your next week to you. It will tell you any upcoming events, any homework that's unfinished, any work, any extracurriculars. And it will schedule these events straight into your calendar and remind you when they happen. The next is recommendations. So you can ask KYPr if you can attend a certain event. It will then search through your calendar and make sure there are no other conflicting events. It will also prioritize other events such as homework or work over other smaller events such as dinner or parties. It will suggest to you how to reorganize your calendar to make it possible for you to do all of the things that you want to do. The third is scheduling. This is simply when you tell KYPr to schedule a new event to your calendar. You tell it the event, the name, the date, and the time, and it will add it to your calendar. The last is personal settings. This is when KYPr helps each individual customize the chatbot to their needs. It uses data from Google Classroom or any other softwares that you use and takes it to make it more unique towards each user. It also uses AI and machine learning to make KYPr learn, to make it more adjustable to your routines and to what you're used to doing. Thank you.